let's talk about Prince William. In the wake of King Charles's cancer diagnosis, the spotlight has shifted dramatically onto the Prince of Wales. For many royal watchers, this was a chance for William to prove his worth, to show the world that he is ready to lead the monarchy into a new era. But instead, what we are seeing is something far more troubling. Welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm Adrian, and today we're diving deep into a story that the mainstream media won't tell you, a story about power, arrogance, and the very real possibility that the British monarchy is heading for its greatest crisis in centuries. Because what's happening behind palace walls right now isn't just about one man's ambition, it's about the systematic dismantling of everything the crown once represented. According to royal expert Ian Wilson, William isn't just taking on more responsibilities, he's being eased into kingship. King Charles, struggling with his health, has reportedly been delegating more to his eldest son than most people realise. At first glance, this might sound like preparation for a smooth transition, but look closer, and the cracks start to show. Let's examine what this easing into kingship actually looks like. Sources within the palace reveal that William has been making unilateral decisions about royal engagements, sometimes without consulting his father first. He's been reshaping the royal calendar to suit his preferences, often cancelling long-standing commitments that he deems outdated or unnecessary. This isn't the behaviour of a dutiful heir learning the ropes. This is the behaviour of someone who believes he's already in charge. And here's where it gets really concerning. Wilson recalls a conversation with Princess Diana herself, where she admitted her fear that the monarchy could end with Charles's death. Think about that for a second. Diana, the woman who knew this institution better than anyone, believed the monarchy would not survive under her ex-husband, or by extension her son. Diana's fears weren't baseless. She understood that the monarchy's survival depended on its ability to adapt while maintaining its core traditions and values. She saw the delicate balance required between modernization and preservation, and apparently she didn't believe Charles or William possessed the wisdom to maintain that balance. And now, decades later, Wilson is pointing out the very real dangers in the way William is handling his new role. Because here's the truth, William isn't following in his father's footsteps. He's rewriting the script. He wants to do things his way, and his way alone. One senior royal insider even admitted, as direct heir, he sometimes seems to forget, whether by accident or design, that there is a hierarchy and that there is one below his father. That says it all. William doesn't see himself as heir to the throne. He already sees himself as the king. Deference, respect for the current monarch. According to sources close to the palace, that's not even in his vocabulary. But let's dig deeper into what this arrogance actually looks like in practice. Multiple sources have reported instances where William has contradicted his father's decisions in public settings. At royal functions, he's been observed making policy statements that directly conflict with established royal positions that Charles, as the reigning monarch, had carefully crafted. Even more telling is William's attitude toward royal protocol. The monarchy has survived for over 1,000 years, partly because of its adherence to tradition and hierarchy. When William dismisses these protocols as stuffy or irrelevant, he's not just disrespecting his father, he's dismantling the very framework that gives the monarchy its legitimacy. This arrogance isn't just disrespectful to Charles, it's dangerous for the monarchy itself. William reportedly wants to make things more casual. He wants to strip away the traditions that hold the monarchy together. But without those traditions, what is left? A hollow institution with no anchor, no meaning, and no connection to the people it claims to serve. Let's examine what William's vision of a modernized monarchy actually entails. He's spoken about reducing the number of working royals, streamlining ceremonial duties, and making the institution more accessible. On the surface, these might sound like reasonable reforms, but here's what he's really proposing. The elimination of centuries-old ceremonies that connect the British people to their history. The removal of pageantry that attracts millions of tourists and generates billions for the economy. The abandonment of traditions that provide stability and continuity in an increasingly chaotic world. William seems to believe that the monarchy's problems stem from being too formal or too distant. But the reality is the opposite. The monarchy's strength has always come from its mystique, its connection to history, its role as a bridge between past and future. When you strip away the ceremony, the tradition, the formality, what you're left with isn't a modern monarchy. You're left with the expensive celebrity family with no clear purpose. And this brings us to perhaps the most troubling aspect of William's approach: his complete misunderstanding of what the monarchy actually represents to the British people and the Commonwealth. And then there's his stance on Prince George. William has already made it clear that George will not be forced to serve in the military unless he chooses to. Now, of course, every parent wants to protect their child, but the role of a monarch is deeply entwined with the life of the armed forces. Refusing to follow that path isn't just a personal choice, it's a failure to grasp the very job specifications of being king. This decision reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of what kingship means in the modern world. The monarch serves as the head of the armed forces not as a ceremonial title, but as a reflection of their commitment to service and sacrifice. Military service has been a cornerstone of royal duty for generations. It's not about putting royal children in danger, it's about demonstrating that no one, regardless of their birth, is above serving their country. It's about understanding the weight of command, the reality of sacrifice, and the true cost of the decisions that kings must make. William's decision to spare George from this tradition sends a clear message that royal privilege comes without royal responsibility, that the crown is something to be inherited, not earned. Contrast that with Prince Harry. Harry didn't just serve, he fought on the front lines. He lived through danger. He sacrificed comfort and privilege for duty. And today, through the Invictus Games, he continues to honour veterans and wounded servicemen and women across the world. Harry's military service wasn't just about personal development, it was about understanding the people he would serve. It was about earning his place in the royal family through sacrifice, not birthright. Harry embodies service, William embodies entitlement, and this is where the danger becomes so clear. William is stepping into power, not as a humble heir ready to learn, but as a man convinced he knows best. Yet his vision of kingship looks more like a stripped-down monarchy with fewer duties, fewer traditions, and fewer connections to the people. A monarchy that exists only for his convenience. Let's be honest about what we're witnessing. While William positions himself as the future of the monarchy, his brother Harry, the man the institution cast aside, continues to demonstrate what true royal service looks like. Harry and Meghan's work with mental health initiatives has reached millions of people worldwide. Their advocacy for social justice has sparked important conversations about equality and inclusion. Their support for veterans through Invictus Games has provided healing and hope for thousands of wounded warriors. They're doing this without titles, without taxpayer funding, without the platform of the royal family. They're serving because they believe in service, not because they're obligated to do so. Meanwhile, William's idea of royal duty seems increasingly focused on what's convenient for him. Shorter engagements, fewer responsibilities, more time for personal pursuits. He wants the crown without the weight that comes with it. This is not what Diana wanted for her children or for the future of the crown. She wanted compassion, service, and humility. And in Meghan and Harry, we see those values come to life. They may no longer be working royals, but their dedication to causes like mental health, equality, and veterans proves that true service doesn't require a throne. Meanwhile, William is being eased into kingship, not because he's ready, but because Charles is ill. And instead of showing respect, instead of proving himself worthy, William is already acting like he's above everyone else. This raises a critical question. What happens to an institution when its future leader fundamentally misunderstands its purpose? The British monarchy has survived civil wars, world wars, and social revolutions. It has adapted to democracy, decolonisation, and globalisation. But it has always maintained its core identity as an institution built on service, tradition, and continuity. William's approach threatens all three of these pillars. His reluctance to embrace tradition weakens the monarchy's historical legitimacy. His casual attitude towards service undermines its moral authority. His impatience with continuity threatens its stability. We're witnessing something unprecedented, a future king who seems more interested in remaking the monarchy to suit his preferences than in preserving and protecting the institution for future generations. The monarchy may not survive that. And maybe Diana was right all along. Perhaps she understood something that many of us are only beginning to see, that the monarchy's greatest threat wouldn't come from external forces, but from within. From an heir who mistakes privilege for preparation, convenience for leadership, and entitlement for duty. The question now isn't whether William will become king, that seems inevitable. The question is whether the monarchy will survive his reign. This is Adrian, and you've been watching Meghan and Harry Tales. What do you think? Is William showing signs of being the wrong man for the job? Or is this the beginning of the end for the monarchy altogether? Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you stand with Meghan and Harry, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more.